Hi guys, what is up? It's Olivia and welcome back to my channel. I am yet again doing another concert experience story time video thing. I get it, I'm a concert junkie, I understand. So this story is about my Panic at the Disco experience story time thing. Yes. Panic at the Disco. Let's get started. I'm wearing my Panic at the Disco shirt, but you can't really tell because I got it in a large, so like the logo is like down here, but I'm wearing it, so anyway, I saw Panic at the Disco on July 3rd at CJE in Pittsburgh. This was my first time seeing them live. Yes, so basically funny story, I didn't get my ticket for this show until about like an hour before I got to the venue. What happened was, backtracking a little bit, the tour was announced, there was no Pittsburgh date, and then a couple of weeks later they were like, oh hey Pittsburgh, what up, like we're coming. So I had the pre-sale code and I went to go buy my ticket on pre-sale, but it was more than a usual ticket price for like that venue is. It was almost like, I feel like it was like almost 70, and they're usually almost like no more than like 65, which like isn't a big difference, but I didn't have the money to buy it and I didn't want to ask my parents for money, so I waited and I waited and waited, and then the pre-sale was over and then they went on sale and I still didn't have the money, and then they sold out, and then I kept watching the StubHub things and I was like, it's fine, like I'll get a ticket, whatever. StubHub all of a sudden decided to skyrocket high prices like the day before. Still didn't have a ticket. Luckily, my friend Shiloh and Shane, shouts to you guys, bought an extra ticket, and they had an extra ticket and they sold it to me, so they saved my life basically. And I found out the reason why the tickets were a little bit more expensive than they regularly were was because it wasn't just a regular Panic at the Disco show. It was the X Fest, which is put on by one of the radio stations in Pittsburgh every year. It's like an alternative radio station. So it was Panic at the Disco, Weezer, Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness, which is like the regular Panic at the Disco tour. But then it was also Dorothy and a band called Swimmers. So you were like getting a mini festival basically, so that's why the tickets were more expensive. But that's kind of besides the point, also kind of comes into play, I don't really know, we're gonna keep going. So day of, I get my ticket about an hour before, head to the venue. Surprisingly, I ended up being probably like at least 10 rows back, somewhere in the 10s, and it wasn't bad at all. My view was great, and the first band was Dorothy. Never heard of them before. They're a pretty much all like rock band, and the lead is a female, which was really cool. Her voice was absolutely insane and it didn't even seem like she was trying, so I actually really enjoyed their music, and I looked it up on Spotify and stuff, and it's really good. So the band's called Dorothy, in case you're wondering. Now the next band is called Swimmers, and I found out about Swimmers a couple of months ago by a YouTuber named Lindsay Rem. I literally mention her in every single video. Like, I make myself appear so creepy and weird, and it's whatever though, honestly. So I found Swimmers through her Spotify, and when I saw they were coming, when I figured out it was like a mini like festival thing, I like freaked out. And I know their music, but the one song I know like all the words to is Miley, which is like one of their most popular songs. I get to the venue, Swimmers comes on, I'm freaking out, everyone around me is like, what, like, can you not? They came on stage and I was like waiting for Miley and waiting for Miley and waiting for Miley, and finally they played Miley. It was so good live, and it was so funny because when they were sound checking, everyone was like, what is this? Like, the way they were sound checking was kind of weird. Like, they were like kind of mumbling into the mic, and like, I don't know, it was weird. Like, their sound check was weird, and everyone's like, this is like, I'm not gonna like this. And then the first song they did was a song off of like the album they just put out, and at the very beginning Cole screams, and everyone was like, what? Like, what just happened? Like, no one was expecting it. The crowd was like absolutely hilarious when the beginning of their set started, and then by the end a lot of people around me like were really like vibing to it and enjoying it, so it was really cool. But I freaked out during Miley. I was screaming the lyrics, and like, the song is so good. It's so good. I'll leave a link to all these bands and stuff down below, but specifically Swimmers and the song Miley, it's really good. But yeah, Swimmers was absolutely incredible, and I actually ended up meeting Cole, the lead singer of the band, as I was leaving the venue. I didn't get a picture with him or anything because he seemed like he was in a rush, but I just told him like, thanks for the set, thanks for your music, like I really appreciated it, you guys did great. And he was like, thanks for letting us in your city and blah blah, so he was really nice. Then up next was Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness, which is formerly known as Jack's Mannequin. I've never really listened to Jack's Mannequin or Andrew on his own, but I absolutely loved Andrew's set. Like, you could clearly see how much passion he has for what he does and how much love he has for the people who listen to his music and follow him, and like his set was just so like feel good. I really liked it, so 10 out of 10 would definitely recommend checking out Jack's Mannequin. Psych, Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness, because they're not Jack's Mannequin anymore, they broke up. Then next up was Panic at the Disco. Like, oh my god, it was so good. I feel like I say this every like video I do about concerts. All I keep saying is so good. The entrance that they did like to the thing, if you guys have seen the Death of a Bachelor album cover, I'll insert it right here. Basically there's a red like convertible Cadillac looking thing, I don't know anything about cars, in a pool, and it was like that car was like driving and stuff and was like doing this crazy fast speedy thing, and then in the end crashed into the swimming pool, and then that's when Brendan came out. And the first song they played was Don't Threaten Me with a Good Time, which was really cool because he came out and he was like, alright, and like it was just, I don't know, it was really cool. Their visuals were really cool. I liked a couple of the ones, like especially on Hallelujah and This Is Gospel, they did more of like stained glass, like based in like a church, and it was just really cool because especially during This Is Gospel, the stained glass like broke whenever Brendan does like you know what I mean. So their visuals were just like really cool. Some of them were like kind of weird and I was laughing at them, but it was like such a Brendan thing to do, and yeah, I really liked it. Stage AE is a venue in Pittsburgh that's both an indoor and an outdoor venue. I love the outdoor shows at that venue because there's a pit and a lawn, so you can do like either one, like depending on like what your preference is and stuff. And when you're watching a show, you're literally watching your faves on stage while the sun is setting, and it's like right next to Heinz Field, which if you don't know anything about Pittsburgh, that is where we play our football games and stuff, like where the Steelers play. So you just like look up and the sun is just setting, and it's on the North Shore, which is like right next to the river and the point, and if you don't live in Pittsburgh or like in Pennsylvania, you have no idea what I'm talking about, but it's the most beautiful area for a concert venue. And literally as Brendan was singing This Is Gospel, like the sun was the most beautiful shade of an orange pink, and the sun was setting, and it was just such really an overwhelming experience. Just have to like have that beautiful scenery and then just have Brendan singing, especially like This Is Gospel, a very passionate song, and oh, like it was just the most beautiful thing, and I can't describe it, and I wish for like everyone to be able to experience something like that because it was absolutely insane and I'm never gonna forget it. It was just beautiful. Even Brendan took a second in between songs to be like, wow, like look at this view, like this is insane, and like it was so beautiful. So I will insert a clip of like that right now because I actually got a clip of like the sun setting and people like bouncing their hands and stuff, and it's really aesthetically pleasing in my opinion. So like here you go. If you love me, let me go. I had so much fun during Panic's set, like, it was so good. It was so good. X-Fest was so good. This is my first X-Fest, like, ever, and I really liked it, and I can't wait for next year's to see what kind of bands they bring. It was so diverse and, like, different. They were all kind of in the same alternative genre, but they each had their different type of alternative music, and I was just so into it. I loved it so much. Panic was absolutely amazing. Brendan has so much passion for what he does, and he's so gifted and so beyond talented. Same thing with Andrew, so much passion. Swimmers, such a really cool group, just so different than anything I've heard before. I love them, I love their music. They were really down to earth, which was super awesome. Lastly was Weezer. I don't really listen to Weezer that much, So I just kind of like walked around and met up with a couple of friends that I knew from online that live in different areas like around Pittsburgh that I don't see all the time. So I met up with them, I got to catch up with them while Weezer was playing, and I didn't realize that a lot of songs that like I knew and recognized were from Weezer, which was super interesting because like I said, I don't really listen to them, so I really wouldn't know. Their set was really good, their visuals were awesome as well. I think a lot of them were really cool, and it was really cool to see adults kind of getting out of their shell a little bit and getting into the pit and jamming out, because after Panic a lot of the younger kids and teens left the pit and it was mostly like adults for Weezer, which was just really cool to see. I don't know, it's different because I feel like a lot of the times when you think of a concert, especially GA, you think of a bunch of screaming teenage girls, and that's not what it is at all, and it was just really cool to see a group of adults just jamming out to Weezer. So overall, my night was absolutely amazing. The atmosphere was incredible. The shows were so good. Everyone was so talented, so good. And basically, after Weezer was over, grabbed me a piece of merch and went home. I feel like every time I do a video like this, the end is just like, yeah, I grabbed a piece of merch and I went home, like nothing more than that. So that's what happened, but so that is all for my Panic at the Disco concert experience video. If you liked it, please be sure to let me know by giving it a big thumbs up. Also, if you're not already and you would like to, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. I post new videos every single week, so until my next video, I will see you guys later. Bye guys! Honestly, the toast filter is kind of everything. What is this? Champagne, cocaine, gasoline, and most things in between. I'd rather sit in a shopping cart. Alright, your girl's gotta go get food.